Hello everyone, I am Tacit, and today I'm going to be going over the Gems of War faction of the Depths of Sin as of its new Deep Delve variant. So I ended up coming in with a new troop and a new layout. So I'm going to be going through this pretty quickly, just going over a bunch of teams and everything that ended up coming with it. So this is a red-purple faction as far as its restriction, and given that it is associated to Sin Mirage, this is actually the most relevant thing about this, because if we go over to Sin Mirage, as you can see we have a little blinky star over here. It can reach 20 star, and of course, that being one of the big milestone levels, we do gain a permanent stat, and not only any permanent stat, but this place is permanent attack value. So that is a +1 attack if you can reach every single requirement for getting to power level 20. So if you do meet that, you'll be able to get that, and even if you don't, it'll be easier to get things like 5 star, 10 star, and similar things as of today. So of course, there are now 2 layouts for this place, as would be expected with a new layout. As far as the first layout is concerned, you basically go multiplier order. So you take a lot of these high tier rooms all the way at the beginning and then wrap your way around. And you do have to end up walking all the way around until you get to the 2 treasure rooms. The treasure rooms being all the way over here and all the way over here. Luckily, the new layout is actually a lot better than that. So if we head over to the new layout, there are 3 guaranteed rooms here that are in like a triangular formation. So right here, here, and here. The easiest way to tell is this is always the tier 5 and then just every other room. So treasure room, not treasure room, treasure room, not treasure room, treasure room, not treasure room, and this one's just not treasure room. So we can see these 3 right here. Treasure room, treasure room, treasure room. And of course, starting straight from the middle right here, we can then end up going down into every single route except, oh no, including the tier 5. So it's basically like Sin Mirage, or not Sin Mirage, City of Thieves. It's basically like default City of Thieves, where immediately after you take the first room, you can go pretty much everywhere. This is actually slightly worse than City of Thieves, the main reason being the overall multiplier here is slightly lower on the side rooms, but is very comparable to that of the City of Thieves layout. So that's pretty nice, as it is among one of the better layouts in the game. And if you end up having like a Cedric room off one of these, you'd probably want to take that immediately, get your high amount of gold, and go take out every other room from there. But aside from that, it's basically just take every single room that isn't the treasure rooms. So in this case, be it a tier 5, 4, 4, 2, and then end up going and taking the 3 treasure rooms. Going for a 5 or 3, 3, and then go straight over there. Similarly, it also still has a 3 path to get to the final. So you can go there, 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 and just get there nice and quickly. Though similar to City of Thieves, you do have to go through a tier 5 in order to get there, as there's no other way. In the case of the other place, you do have 2 tier 5s to choose from, which makes it a little bit easier, but you do only have the 1 here. As far as the shop is concerned, of course, tier 3 and everything to go and complete out the entirety of the event over the course this weekend, over the next 3 days. The weapon you can end up getting if you don't end up having it. It's nothing too special, but it is one of those rare skull spam weapons, so it does have that going for it. It's just very niche and generally not really used, though. And then we have this troop. While this thing is pretty... bad as far as a troop, it is good for the fact that, as we mentioned earlier, it is required, at least as of currently, in order to get Sin Mirage to 20 star for the extra attack bonus. But its actual ability is really weird. It deals a bunch of damage to an enemy boosted by souls, and then there's only a 50% chance it'll deal that damage to all enemies below. The reason I say this is weird is it's an epic from a faction at 13 mana cost that does that. There is already something that does that better from factions that are pretty much just as easy to get. And it is, I forget his name, I have a team with him right over here. I used to keep this team saved for whenever we need a soul team, but we don't have that objective anymore on weeklies, so I just have this team randomly here. But Judge of the Dead, he's a legend, but he's a faction legend, so he's really easy to get from Hellgate. And while he is 3 higher mana costs, he does that, but better. He does it not only at a better boost ratio, a 2-to-1 rather than a 3-to-1, but he does it 100% of the time, which obviously is way better than half the time. So he has 1 better boost ratio and always does it instead of half the time does it. And while that is a 3 higher mana cost, the amount of extra consistency that you'll have from this is way higher. So the new troop we got is basically never going to be used. It's not even used for the pure faction. But anyways, let's go now and start getting into all of the teams, all which are in the description below if you want to go and copy paste any of them. The first one we have here is a pretty standard Vinoxia Takshaka. Since it is a red-purple restriction, we can end up getting away with this. If you want some class XP, you might want to put a hero there to go tank with Wand or whatever else you have. That way your team will be hero tanking, Vinoxia double Takshaka. But just run whatever you want to run with it. It's basically just Takshaka into Vinoxia, and you replace out as you need. For the cheaper team here, I am putting Queen Natanya on the cheaper team, as she is still available from the event queue drop table for the next 3 days for the rest of this event. So she is technically really easy to get at this current moment in time. I did put a Yagway here, which is a little bit more expensive, but you can just double Queen of Tanya if you don't have the Yagway, and pretty much just run what you're running for the current event, because Leprechaun you're already running for the event, Queen of Tanya you're already running for the event, Summer's Fury you could already run for the event. So basically, just run your event team if you really had to here, as it probably fits into this restriction. And Queen of Tanya is just really strong this week, not only just naturally being strong, but also having 20% extra stats. Should make it pretty straightforward. For the later fights on the higher rarity end, we ended up going for a pretty standard Zolgoth team. Any mana accumulator you want here, though. I want Angry Mob, just in case our hero does die. One Assassin just for the damage pressure, but you could go more mana heavy or Elementals for tankiness. Really, it depends how you want to go about it. But general premise is just mass mana accumulator Zolgoth and then just spam him until you win. For the lower rarity team, we did through Tesla here. Once again, a little bit of a higher rarity thing, but you do get the weapon automatically, so it's pretty free. Golden Cog normally used for things that single boost, like for example, Guard's Avatar, Rowan, similar things. Things that boost from themselves, essentially, off their armor. However, you can use it on full team armor boosts, similar to Tesla, as you're still getting a lot of value from this for her additional damage. Essentially what this weapon does is it gives an ally whatever their armor is. So essentially the first one is not too good, but every subsequent one would be. So right here we'd get 109, and after that we'd get 218, so on and so forth, until you essentially get a troop to 1,000, or pretty close to 1,000 armor very quickly. So you just do that, get your Tesla down over and over again, and just keep doing pretty standard throughout Leprechaun mana accumulation until you have all the mana you need. And just keep spamming Tesla till you win. And then as far as the Pure Faction team is concerned, you basically just spam the Tutorus until you win. He's actually a pretty rare Underspire troop in that he has, or Underworld troop I mean, in that he has boost ratio. Boost ratio based on enemy stats. While a lot of them have boost ratios, almost none of them have boost ratios from enemy stats, meaning that he does scale all the way to Pure Faction 500, which is really good because generally the main time that you're running any of these is Pure Faction 500, just to get them all done in one go. And the fact that he scales is off their stats is very nice, since it doesn't matter, like the difficulty makes it easier overall, since he'll always pretty much have the same scaling. But anyways, he deals a bunch of damage to an enemy boosted by their attack, and then gains a little bit of souls. But since he ends up doing it based on their attack, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So if they have 100 attack, it's 100 extra damage, 200 attack, 200 damage. It just helps scales to whatever their overall durability is pretty nicely. So it actually is among one of the better faction troops as far as taking out the Pure Faction. So ends up being pretty easy. Unfortunately, his traits are pretty bad though. And then we just have a tank that has better traits, 50% score reduction into a bunch of durability gain. Unfortunately, this thing does get rid of all skulls, which sometimes you want for pokes, but in some degree it will keep you safer. But the other thing that's kind of annoying is it doesn't have an attack gain. And either have like life into attack or armor into attack tend to be a little bit better than double durability. But if nothing else, this makes it really tanky so that you can keep your Tutoruses alive. But anyways, guys, all the teams will be in the description below. If you still have any other questions, feel free to leave in the comment section below. And I'll catch all of you guys later. Goodbye, everyone. Thanks for watching, and have a wonderful weekend.